let's see how this consolation final pans out then. Jaime Busto has the disadvantage of being the first rider out through each of these 4 sections. Benoit Bincaz, as you said earlier, Dave always has a smile, ready smile, and always loving life. Well, he'll be loving life at the moment. He's through to the consolation final with a shot at 3rd position and a good chance of it as well, as he has the 2nd seeding position to the consolation final and an opportunity to watch what Jaime Busto can do and try and better it.
Busto ready to go then. Here we go with section 1.
First step proving difficult, has to jump back for a second go at it. Time though is underway and ticking away. New direction for section 1 in this consolation final. Big step, 2nd attempt, back down again. 15 seconds already used, 3rd time lucky for Jaime Busto. Big effort. Again, he can't do it. He's going to keep going at this, but of course, each time he tries it, he's going to be using up more and more of his energy. Has he got there? Oh, he was close, but he clacked the sump and then the bike bounced backwards, so it's a 5-mark score in section number 1 in the end.
He was bouncing up and down like a kangaroo there on that very sharp first part of this section 1, the blue modules. Didn't see this used in round 2, it was used in the other direction in round 1. Let's see if Benoit Bincaz can bounce his way up onto section 1 successfully then. Just taking his time. The clock doesn't start until he makes his first move onto the section, of course.
As soon as that front wheel crosses the gate. Bincaz is up! He's caught it on the sump. Oh, he slips back! Oh, what a shame for Bincaz. He got further than Jaime did in his 3 attempts. But he's now got 3 marks. Any further errors in this section for Benoit Bincaz, and it'll be a failure. So now he's got the same step to do, but this time he's got to do it perfectly. And he can't do so, and it's a failure for Benoit Bincaz. Now, we said that this was going to be a shorter lap because it was only 4 sections. Effectively, we've now only got 3 with which to separate these 2 riders.
Section 2 then, it's the wooden crates and pallets in the opposite direction to the 2nd round. Remember, nobody completed this section in the 1st direction. Can they complete it in reverse? Jaime Busto will be the first to try to do so. 5 marks already to his name. Neither rider were able to get up that first element of section 1. Let's see what they can do in the wood yard here, section 2.
Jaime Busto then about to come into this one. Remember, for those of you looking forward to tonight's grand final between Adam Raga and Tony Bow, this section will be repeated in that grand final. Oh, Busto working hard. Again, it's the opening step that is proving the challenge. These wooden crates angled against Busto. 2nd attempt, he's up. Nicely done, and the fans are delighted about that. This is the man they've come to see, Jaime Busto. This is the man they've come to see win. Up he goes. Section number 2, starting to build now his confidence, Busto. Special night for him in his home event, of course. 19 seconds to go. Time is going to be tight. Jaime Busto becomes the first rider in the consolation final to complete a section. To the cheers of the crowd here in Bilbao, it's just a single mark. 6 from 2. Bincaz looking to go clean here to take the lead of the X-Trial consolation final.
Well, the noise certainly reached a crescendo there as Jaime Busto cleared the first part of this timber yard section. Let's see if Benoit Bincaz can do the same then. Busto again needed a couple of attempts to bounce up that first part of the section, just like in section 1. Will Bincaz get up this first time?
Frenchman like Busto before him with 1 minute to make his way through this section number 2. Busto did it with 1 mark. Bincaz could do with achieving it at least with 1 mark or possibly with a clean. It's going to be 1 mark perhaps, waiting on confirmation of that. Bincaz eventually makes it over, and as I understand, he's still clean. Now, an opportunity for Benoit Bincaz to take the lead of the consolation final. Doesn't look like the section observers marking anything so far. Section number 2 going very well indeed for Benoit Bincaz, who was certainly the class And the unexpected star of round number 2, could he make it onto the podium for the first time this season? Narrowly avoids taking a mark for leading there. 10 seconds to go. He's tight on time. He's going to have to rush here. But he does so. And Benoit Bincaz is out of section number 2 and in fight style. It's a clean, the first clean of this Consolation final. Benoit Bincaz leads with 2 sections to go.
Lucky not to drop a mark at the start of that section as he came over that leaning tower of crates. Now we come towards section number 3. 6 plays 5. Busto on 6, Bincaz 5. Section 3. This is the same as section number 5 in the previous round.
Jaime Busto then trails Benoit Bincaz, and any more drop marks, of course, will give Bincaz an even greater lead. Does this seem familiar to you? It should do. It's the same as round number 1, section 4, and of course we saw it again in round number 2. Big step, Busto looking to prove himself here. It's a 3rd attempt of the night. He's going to have another go. 1 drop mark so far. He knows this is achievable. He's seen 3 riders get through it. Benoit Bincaz is one of them. But down he goes to a 5-mark score, and Bincaz, who's already once made it through this, now has an opportunity to win the Consolation final. He leads by 6.
Yeah, it's that seemingly insurmountable step once again. We've seen it so many times. Only 3 riders have managed to get over it so far. Bincaz is one of them. Bo and Raga were the others in round 1. Benoit Bincaz. First part of this section shouldn't prove a problem. It's that 1 step towards the end where they have to come back above them. Taking his time here. He always does, Benoit Bincaz. Won't start until he makes it through onto the start of the section.
Benoit Bincaz then leading this Consolation final by 6 marks. If he cleans this section, nothing that Jaime Busto can do in section number 4 will reverse those fortunes. Bincaz with an opportunity to secure a podium finish. He already has 2 to his name in his extra World Championship career, both from last season, of course, his debut campaign. As I said earlier on, it looked like he'd dropped back in 2019 behind Gironi Fajardo. Well, he's beaten Fajardo here tonight, and he has an opportunity to beat the rider who snatched the bronze medal away from him in the championship in the cruelest of fashions last season. Benoit Bincaz, big step here. He's done it once and he did it with a single mark. If he drops 1 mark here, he'll lead by 5 going into the final section. Can Bincaz do it for a second time when the pressure is really on for a podium place? Half of the allotted time still available. Big step, big ride, he's done it again, and he's delighted, he's done it clean. Benoit Bincaz secures a podium position here in Bilbao. His rival, Jaime Busto, misses out on a top 3 place in front of his home crowd. The French will be celebrating tonight. Their man Benoit Bincaz, nothing less than deserved after a brilliant performance in round number 2, secures a place on the podium with a section to spare.
This is probably the best I've ever seen Benoit Bincaz ride here this evening. There's still a section to go though, section number 4. We saw this in the reverse direction, a very difficult looking first step here for Jaime Busto to attempt at the start of this section 4. He looks rather daunted there as he weighs up this slanted A-frame up onto the tower.
Nicely made that first step though by Jaime Busto. Did have the ramp at least in his favour, that A-frame acting as a ramp upwards. Nothing that Busto can do now in this section other than minimise the margin between the 2 riders at the end of the Consolation final. The gap is 6 marks and the maximum score in a section is 5. So it will be Benoit Bincaz with his 3rd career podium, and it will be Jaime Busto who fails to add to his career total of 4. Jaime Busto makes it clean through section number 4, his first clean of the lap, in fact, to finish on an 11-mark total in the Consolation final. Still gets the biggest cheer of any of the riders, of course, as a home representative, but he can't give the crowd here in the Vizcaya Arena the podium place that they might have hoped for for their local representative.
And next it will be time for Benoit Bincaz to try and put the lid on it. Let's see if he can get through this section clean. He's already cleaned the last two sections. Brilliant ride through section 3. Jaime Busto made that rather difficult-looking tower at the start of this section fairly easy. Charged straight over it and flew across the rest of the section. Let's see what Bincaz can do.
He'll be full of adrenaline now, full of excitement, because I'm sure that he'll already be well aware that he's secured a podium place here tonight. I'm sure he'd like to do it in style, though, with a third consecutive clean, as you said. 11-5 at the moment, the gap between the two riders. If Bincaz were to drop 5 here, he'd finish on 10. And it would be a less emphatic margin, but it has looked emphatic in the Consolation final. Bincaz outstripping Jaime Busto in sections 2 and 3, and he's clean in section number 4 to win the Consolation final by a 6-mark margin. And they'll be celebrating north of here tonight as Benoit Bincaz takes 3rd position here this evening.
As the celebrations will already be starting, he's congratulated by his rival Jaime Busto.
Just going to capture word in the stadium here from Jaime Busto. Just thanking the public for supporting him, and he hopes that they've had a good night, and he hopes that he'll be able to do it better in the future. And I'm sure he's more than capable of doing so. Tonight was not his night, but it's great news for a neutral fan, because that's the 3rd different rider to have finished in 3rd position this season.
Yes, Jaime Busto tried his hardest there. Section finished with a flourish, with a clean in section 4, but 2 failures to Benoit Bincaz's 1 made the difference. Bincaz quite superb.
We've got the Mexican wave back here in the Vizcaya Arena in honour of Jaime Busto. He falls at the runner-up final. 4th position here tonight. Benoit Bincaz takes 3rd. Confirmation of the result. 5 marks for Benoit Bincaz, all scored in the 1st section. Jaime Busto could do no better in that one. 6 subsequent drop marks see him finish his lap on 11. 5 versus 11. Bincaz takes 3rd. Busto takes